Why I hate Michael Gove. In this irregular series, I'm looking into why I personally find Michael Gove to be one of the most repugnant Tories ever. Today we're going to look at this clip.
The chief exec of the NHS and most of the leaders of the trade unions in Britain all say that you, Boris and Nigel are wrong. Why should the public trust you over them?
Yes, why should they trust you? The short answer is that they shouldn't, but we'll return to that interview shortly, the interview where Gove said, "We've all had enough of experts." But first, let's remind ourselves of some of the things that Gove does or has done that makes me loathe him. Well, there's his general obfuscation.
The key thing about levelling up is that it's about more than one ingredient. So transport matters, infrastructure matters, but within that, it's also the case that links within and between northern and midland cities matter. And more than just infrastructure, levelling up involves research and development and being spent more effectively.
Then there was this unearthed recording of him being vile about northerners.
We are at last experiencing a new empire. An empire where the happy south stamps over the cruel, dirty, toothless face of the northerner.
His involvement in the PPE scandal.
No?
Well, lots of people approached me.
Personal email?
Yeah, there were lots of people who approached me, whether it was through email, text, or
general snakiness.
By his own volition.
His own decision. So we now have a decision to make as members of the House of Commons.
My
own view is I'm grateful to the committee. I think their work is good, but I don't agree with the conclusion.
But what people will want to know...
His pathetic excuses and faux contrition for drug taking.
it was a crime, it was a mistake. I deeply regret it.
Let's get back to this interview where basically Gove paints himself as wanting to do what's best for the average voter, while institutions and individuals wanting to stay in the EU are basically doing it for their own self-interests.
The chief exec of the NHS and most of the leaders of the trade unions in Britain all say that you, Boris and Nigel are wrong. Why should the public trust you over them?
I'm not asking the public to trust me, I'm asking the public to trust themselves. I'm asking the British public to take back control of our destiny from those organisations which are distant, unaccountable, elitist and don't have their own interests at heart.
Elitist.
Absolutely.
The Lord High Chancellor, conspiracy of elites. It sounds like something like Wolf Hall.
Well, I haven't seen Wolf Hall, but the one thing that I would say is that the people who are backing the Remain campaign are people who've done very well, thank you, out of the European Union, and the people increasingly, absolutely.
So far as I've seen, the reverse is true of what Gove is about to say, along with the line about experts.
And the people who are arguing that we should get out are concerned to ensure that the working people of this country at last get a fair deal. I think the people in this country have had enough of experts with organisations from acronyms.
The people of this country have had enough of experts.
From organisations with acronyms saying that they know what is best and getting it consistently wrong.
Click here for another episode of Why I Hate Michael Gove.